About to buy back the city. Buy back.
I'm in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Yo. Welcome back. This is in Black America Radio with your host, Rasta B. Today's date is January 13th. Hey, it's Friday the 13th, 2017. Today's title, Did Black People Love Slavery and Regret it ended? Regretted it ended? If I said I missed that. Anyway, the call-in number 646-716-4654. We're going to talk about it. This is basically off of an article I read from a 2004 article by a guy named Anglin, a Daily Stormer. And the title was Blacks Love Slavery and Regretted Its End. So my question is, did we? I'm going to read his article. I'm going to read from a book, PDF, of slave narrative. I'm also going to talk about the Steve Harvey meeting Donald Trump today. Ben Carson confirmation earlier this week, and the varieties of slave labor. So again, guest calling number 646-716-4654, and let's get into this. I would like to. I definitely want to jump straight into it. I don't want to tiptoe and do what we normally do. We're talking about loose banter, and then getting into the real nitty gritty, because there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to cover, so I'm trying to go ahead and do that. But I also want to talk about, just to start it off, let's get into the Steve Harvey. So as you may know or may not know yet, that Steve Harvey also took the golden elevator ride up to Towers. So you already know the internet and everybody's probably going haywire. But what people got to understand is, again, that's not how real life works. Real life don't work where everybody starts to have this little stupid-ass sit listening to whatever the hell the goddamn liberals tell us, and that's how we move. That's not what it is. That's not cool. I'm reading an article right now with John Lewis, Congressman of Georgia, saying that he's going to skip the inauguration for the first time since he's been in office because he don't feel like Trump is a legitimate president. And it's just funny to me because basically the Democrats are playing the Republican card when Barack was president, and they're now doing this shit with Trump. And I don't get that. That's some elite high-end shit that we don't know about. You see what I'm saying? Elite shit, because that don't affect the people. These guys don't give a fuck about the regular average people. You dig what I'm saying? They don't care about that. All they care about is who's backing them and what they're telling them to do. So a lot of stuff that we really seeing, these aren't black people standing up. John Lewis isn't standing up. Cory Booker isn't standing up. These dudes are paid puppets that's running around now trying to do this whole thing where that's going to hurt us. Ray Lewis, Jim Brown, Steve Harvey, that black pastor whose name escapes me, These guys are taking the correct approach in handling the situation that we are in right now. You're not supposed to not negotiate with the man. You're not supposed to not talk to the man. That is stupid. For you to sit over there now and go through 8 years of Barack Obama screaming, what about the black agenda? What about the black agenda? What about the black agenda? And get ignored? You ever notice how black start talking in his last couple of seconds in office? Now all of a sudden he want to talk a little bit more boldly. So much that Lester Holt in an interview even asked Barack, why now? Why speak so direct now when it comes to race? And Barack said, well, it wasn't the right time then for me to get what I'm trying to do out now. He tabbed that. So now that, because this is what you got to understand. Never look and judge people based off of their reaction to shit. Only judge the reaction based off of the circumstances. Meaning, if my reaction to something, if I'm now going to talk crap about this girl, or I'm going to talk crap about my homie for mad enough years, once we fall out, you see what I'm saying? You got to wonder to yourself, well, why he wasn't there when y'all was cool, or why she wasn't there when y'all was dating. If now Barack is talking all this race stuff now, that Trump is going to be president, do you really think he'd have been talking all that if Hillary would have been president? No. So don't let them now see Trump win and then turn around and gas you up. Come on, black people. We know the energy and the examples of what it is when somebody's trying to gas you up. And all going on right now is a bunch of elite black people trying to gas up the poor working black person. And we should not fall for that. So what happens is now they're all playing the game. What you have to understand is when Barack Obama became president, the Democratic Party had this. It's the same shit going on with the Republicans. It's the same exact shit going on with the fucking Democrats. The Democrats had a majority, just like the Republicans had a majority. The Republicans know what the Democrats didn't know. What the Democrats didn't care about. They got to do this shit quick because they only got 2 years before this whole shit changed. They know when election time come again in 2 more years, 9 out of 10, they're going to vote out a lot of those Republicans, and they're going to have the Democrats going to have a little bit more control. That's all of this is in theory. So they know this is an option. So what do? They say, we're going to go ahead and set up what we got to do now so we can have enough time to do what we got to do while we still got the power. The Democrats did not do that. The Democrats was torn between health care and amnesty, if I remember correctly. And they fought for 2 years trying to figure out which one of those they was going to do first, because they didn't believe they could have got the health care, so they didn't want to do health care, and they was trying to do the amnesty, if I remember correctly, first. And that was a big fight. And it was a whole fight shit about the whole, because remember, it was 2 years it took for anything that happened with the Barack Obamacare shit. That was under a Democratic majority. They fumbled and they fucked up. So once the Obamacare went into play, that's when it was Republican rule. And that's when they start saying they're going to block everything else and things of that nature. That's why that happened. Y'all don't remember history. Y'all don't study shit. Y'all don't remember shit. That's why they keep playing this weird-ass game with you. But before I continue on my rant, let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Smoke. Smoke, what's good?
Yo, what's poppin'?
Shit, man, shit. You heard Steve Harvey went to speak to Trump?
I didn't read the article, but I saw it basically. So I was like, and the headline in it was the Daily News. I saw the headline was saying that, you know, I'm presuming that they was quoting Steve Harvey because I didn't read the article, but the headline was saying that something good may come out of this. So I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Let's see. I wonder what he was talking about, but I didn't get a chance to actually read the article to see what the specific was or whatever. But you got to remember that Jim Brown and Ray Lewis, when they went, they had the same sort of, you know, they pretty much had the same sentiment as that, you know what I mean, when they went to go see Trump. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, what these meetings and what those talks actually, you know, what comes to fruition of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how you have,
but
like,
you know what they're talking? No, my bad. Continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, what was it going to say?
No. I ain't mean to cut your wisdom. Go ahead and flow.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess a lot of the talk that you hearing from like the black community is contrary of actually going to see Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's not about speaking to him to see what's happening or to like really to push your agenda. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you have for the black community or whatever, it's more so like, you know, Trump's the devil, stay away, you know, 666, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you see two instances where people, you know, public figures went. And, I don't know what Steve Harvey went for, but in the case of Jim Brown and Ray Lewis, they actually have an initiative that they went.
No, but listen, they all went for the same reason. They went for the same reason. Ben Carson is head of fucking HUD.
Right.
HUD is HUD is urban development. You got all these silly ass niggas want to talk about their hood and talk about rebuilding the community, talk about black community, talk about all of this shit. You see what I'm saying? That's why
you're right, because that's what Jim Brown and Ray Lewis was there for. So yeah, no doubt, that's real.
Like, because Steve Harvey said the same shit. They talking about Chicago rebuilding. Fixing the problem in Chicago, finding out Detroit and what to do in Detroit and things of this nature. When you listen to Ben Carson sound like, I can't listen to Ben Carson talk. He sounds too fucking spacey, right? But one thing he said that made me scratch my head and say about is a comment he made when he said, basically, I don't know how to handle the problem. But what I feel like is the people that's been dealing with the problem on the ground floor in these states know how to handle it better. So I'm going to listen to what they're saying and basically have them handle their situations that fits their state and not have one cookie. This is his exact words. Not have one cookie cut approach to solve everybody's problem, but everybody have an individual approach. You know what that sounds like when I heard that? It sounds like each individual organization for these communities to help redevelop it, we're going to funnel money into these goddamn programs. And with the money being funneled into these programs will be used now to rebuild these communities. Now, we know the hustle, and we know that these funds end up going into the pockets of the people that's doing this shit.
Right.
But where is the fucking strategic mind frame of black people? You see what I'm saying? Where we will position ourselves. We would sit here and kiss Barack Obama's ass for 8 years where he ignored us. And then turn up our nose at a man that's saying, okay, listen, okay, I'm willing to work with you. What is it that you need to help rebuild your community? And we need you not to be motherfucking president. And it's like, what? No, nigga.
It ain't happening, man. It ain't happening. It's like, we just got to deal with it and move forward. Like, I feel you. I get it. But it's like we have to really
You know
be realistic in the shit that we approach, you know, and the shit that we want to expend our energy on. It's like, damn. I could have felt that in 2016 in December and all that. 2017, it's a new year, man. He about to get sworn in a couple days.
The people don't. Keep it. The first 4 years of Barack Obama presidency. Why he ain't talking about issues dealing with black people? Where's the black agenda? You know he can't talk about that now, my nigga. He just got in. He gonna handle that during the second term. Okay, true. And niggas waited for 4 years. Then when he got back in, and we like, yo, why he ain't saying nothing about the black agenda? What's going on with black people? You getting killed and shit by police. Nigga, we ain't asked him to do nothing for us, so we can't expect him to do nothing for us. And I'm like, what? Like, we just say this shit like it's fucking hashtag, you know, like Twitter, like tweets, you know what I'm saying? And then when you got Trump sitting over here talking about grabbing pussy, now we're not playing that gay game. You know what? The man gonna have to stand up and be a man again. No, ain't no more that killing the babies. We ain't playing that game no more. And we're gonna tighten up security and all kind of shit like that, right? So everybody's like, oh my God, all of this shit he's saying, what do this mean, right? And one more thing, all you black people out there, we're gonna do something to help your community. Just come here and let me know what it is that you need, and let's work together on that. And we're saying no to that. But we sat 8 years and made excuses for why Barack ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking
because we looked at Barack as part of the solution. You know what I'm saying? It's like we felt like the country was going in a great direction because we got a black president. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we really didn't need anything for at least those, the early years. It was like we was cool with just seeing that face, him coming out, having his little black man strut. You know what I'm saying? He got the fine wife. He played ball. You know what I'm saying? He played ball with rappers and shit like that. So we was cool with just the black image being in the highest post of the U.S. It was just like that was part of the solution. Like, oh, we made it. You know what I'm saying? We got nigga president. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So that first 4 years was just really that. He got reelected off of that. And then, you started hearing more concerns of, like, him doing shit. But by the time, it's like, he out of office now. You know what I'm saying? Those 8 years went by quick, man. We didn't do shit. But appreciate the fact that he was a black man being the president. We appreciate the hell out of it. You got songs. You got all type of paintings and shit like that. You know what I mean? Everybody referencing the damn president, you know what I'm saying? So we did that well. But we didn't actually... You know what it remind me of?
I'm going to tell you what scene that reminds me of. I want everybody to think about this scene. It reminds me of the scene in Love Basketball, right? When Sanaa Layton's character, she hit that shot, and she kept her hand up like that, but she basked in that glory too long, and the other team scored, and then the coach was like, keep your hand like that all day. Keep your hand like that all day. And everybody, when they seen her, they'll keep their hand like that. That's how we were. We sat there and we shot a shot for Barack win, and now we keep our hand up there. We stunting. But then the white boy now, he gets the ball, he checks it back out, they dribble back down the court, and they score. But we stunting. We celebrating. Time running out. The clock going down. They're up by a point, and we stunting. Just like I said, while the white people is setting up the alt-right, we was writing songs about eating booty like grocery. You see what I'm saying? We're in two fucking different realities right now. We're in two different realities right now. So, that's the Steve Harvey. Because I already said I want to go straight into it, right? Because I want all the time to really get into the matter. So what I'm going to do is, this is how we're going to do it, folks. So we got some order, right? I'm going to read, and then once I read into it, then we're going to We're gonna discuss what was read.
Yeah, I
so
got my.
What I'm reading right now.
I got my notepad because I'm down I'm down some technology, so I'm gonna try to write down some points so I can keep up with you. What up?
I don't know. All right. So what it is this. All right. So the title is this: Blacks Love Slavery and Regretted Its End, by Andrew Anglin, Daily Stormer, February 20th, 2014. Now, how I got into this, now, the Daily Stormer, it's the America's number one most trusted Republican news source, right? So it's all, this is like a right-wing, white, type shit. How did I run across this information? I ran across the information because I kept hearing black people calling these guys coons and sellouts and shit like that. So I was thinking to myself, what did they call black people that used to love their white masters back in the day? I wanted to know what term it was. So as I was just Googling stuff, I ran across this article. So I read it, and it was pretty interesting. So it goes, all right, black slavery, the worst that ever happened, or a fun and happy time for everyone, question mark. Sometimes you don't even think of a thing, but when you hear it, it is obvious. This is the way it was for me, coming across the real narrative of slaves, which proves that black people, in fact, loved slavery and regretted that it ever ended. While never believing the idiotic Hollywood gibberish about how all the masters abused their black staff for no reason, I suppose I just took it for granted that blacks would have preferred freedom over slavery. And the whole thing was a bit unfair to them. Now that I have come across this information, it makes perfect sense that they would have felt comfortable and satisfied living as slaves. Clearly, as slaves, they had things that they never would have had otherwise. For one, they had a stable family structure. They were treated like children, but children that were loved, a part of the family, and the masters made sure that they married and stayed together. They were also given order and knowledge of the joys of a hard day's work.
Shit crazy.
Black people ain't shit. Check it up. All right, let me go back and then continue. They were also given order and knowledge of the joys of a hard day's work. The comfort that they had living in houses built by whites was something that they never would have had if they hadn't been slaves. During the Depression, some folks got the idea to go down to the South and record the narrative of the last living slaves, and George P. Rawick compiled these narratives into a 19-volume collection called The American Slave, a composite autobiography. And before I continue and get into that, I'm going to stop and get your opinion, Smoke. The white man taught us the knowledge of a hard day's work.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, I mean, it's just like
special breed of people.
It's like, they basically trying to say like, they civilizing the savages. It's like sounding like we needed them. They gave us order. You know what I mean? It's like I heard you mention in there that they made us feel like we were part of the family. Treated us like we were children. You know, like you know, and we from Brooklyn, so it's like somebody son you, that's disrespectful.
Son
you,
you,
like,
right?
It's like you sonning me, man. Like get the fuck out. That's crazy, yo. It's crazy the things that you see in these documents and these articles and these thought processes that come from them. That's crazy, man.
And the thing about me is, like I be telling people, well, even like I said on the show before, the only man in America is the white man. The only woman in America is the white woman. You see what I'm saying? That's why every time the black man try to rise up, he gets resistant. That's why when the black woman want to express herself and wear her hair natural, she gets resistant. You're not supposed to be a man. The only man is a white man. The only woman is a white woman. That is it. That's why when the white woman saw that the white man in New Orleans was more attractive and flirtatious and sleeping with the mulatto black woman, that's why she went and passed the law called the Teagan Law, where the black woman and the mulatto had to cover their hair in the cloth, you know what I'm saying, to cover their hair, to show that they're black, even though they look white. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the white woman happened to compete with that black woman. No, the only woman is that white woman. She passed the law. We don't get that. You see what I'm saying? So when we trying to negotiate with these people, when we trying to understand these people, when we trying to work with them and all kind of weirdo shit like that, you have to understand that the way they look at us, it's a whole narrative behind it. It's literally a narrative. It's literally when you speak to them and you try to speak to them on a human level to explain that, no, you know, black fathers, we interact with our kids, we hug our child, we bathe them, we speak to them, we go out, we interact with our woman and all kind of things like that. They really look at you and be like, wow, really? It's like they really have a different narrative of who you are. So for you to try to appease a people who whole history, all they've done was destroy you physically, destroy you spiritually, and destroy you through your character and your in your imagery, you can't then think that speaking to them means anything. It don't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? It don't mean nothing. So it's like you got to understand the mind frame of these people, pretty much is what I'm saying, and what they did to us.
So
I'm going to continue. So let me continue now to this. This way gets real good. Patsy Michener, age 84. She was interviewed in July 2nd, 1937. Before 2 years had passed after the surrender, there was 2 out of every 3 slaves who wished they was back with their masters. The master's kindness to the nigger after the war is the cause of the nigger having things today. There was a lot of love between master and slave, and there is few of us that don't love the white folks today. Slavery was better for us than things is now. In some cases, niggas then didn't have no responsibility. Just work, obey, and eat. LeBetty Carfer, age 81. The rest of the family was all fine folks and good to me, but I love Miss Ella better than anyone or anything else in the world. Oh, better than anyone or anything else in the world. She was the best friend I ever had. If I ever wanted for anything, I just asked her and she give it to me or got it for me somehow. I done lived to see 3 generations of my white folks come and go, and they're the finest folks on earth. Adeline Johnson, age 93. That was a happy time with happy days. And remember, these people are 80 and 90-something in 1937, okay? They're 90-something years old. they was born in the 1800s. That was a happy, Adeline Johnson, age 93. That was a happy time with happy days. I'll be satisfied to see my Savior that my old master worshipped and my husband preached about. I want to be in heaven with all my white folks, just to wait on them and love them and serve them, sort of like I did in slavery time. That will be enough heaven for Adeline, 93 years old. Mary Anderson, age 86. I think slavery was mighty good for things, a mighty good thing for mother, father, me, and the other members of the family. And I cannot say anything but good for my old master and missus. But I can only speak for those whose condition I have known during slavery and since. For myself and them, I will say again, slavery was a mighty good thing. Samuel Riddick, age 95. My white folks were fine people. I haven't anything to say against slavery. My old folks put my clothes on me when I was a boy. They gave me shoes and stockings and put them on me when I was a little boy. I love them. I can't go against them in anything. There were things I did not like about slavery or some plantations, whooping and selling parents and children from each other, but I haven't much to say. I was treated good. Sylvia Cannon, age 85. Things sure better long time ago than they be now. I know it. Colored people never had no debt to pay. Sylvia Cannon, age 85. Things sure better long time ago than they be now. I know it. Colored people never had no debt to pay in slavery time. Never hear tell about no colored people been put in jail before freedom. Had more to eat and more to wear then, and had good clothes all the time. Because white folks furnish everything. Everything. Have plenty peas, rice, hog, meat, rabbit, fish, and such as that. And then I'm going to stop right there because this is where it get real good. So, yes, man.
Yeah, I had to mute myself, man.
This is actual people living during the time. You know what I'm saying? Saying their experience. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
You know, like listening to those testimonies is like first, like, you know, the first thing I really gather is like those wasn't like the most educated people. You know what I'm saying? If that was their real interview, that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these wasn't, you know, at least they wasn't playing to be the most educated people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It's like you can see like, you know, how they would nowadays. A story comes on and they go grab the dumbest motherfucker to give the interview. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I was just thinking of. Like, they just like, yeah, Miss Adeline, she'll be good. Let's get the quote from her. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she had mentioned that, you know, about, you know, going to heaven and, you know, meeting her good white family in heaven or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, to me that played into, like, you know, how the religious clip plays into how, you know, Christianity was part of the chain that held us down. You know what I'm saying? So you could see that inside of the responses. You know what I'm saying? You know, the religious clip, and then just, you know, going back to the first segment you had read in, it was they were saying that they treated them like children. And so that, what was it, Samuel, he was talking about how, you know, they helped him put his clothes on. And, you know, he was just saying something like real childish, like a little boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But to me, overall, from that segment, it was just like, you could tell, you know, that those wasn't the most educated, that they was, you know, grabbing for those little interviews or whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it.
See, but me, I don't even think education is even a factor. I just think it's conditioning. And what happens
right, that's real.
even like in one of the later ones, did I pass it? No, I didn't pass it. Yeah, let me go back to one of the ladies that earlier when she said Sylvia, who's 85, when she says things sure better a long time ago than they be now. Colored people never had no debt to pay. Colored people wasn't being put in jail. They had more food, more clothes because white people furnished everything. So so they made you dependent on them. See, because which is true. No, Hollywood is putting extra on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I keep trying to explain to everybody. If you want somebody to do something for you, you got to make them dependent on you. You know what I'm saying? If you keep on fighting somebody, they're going to fight you back. That's what the mental slavery is. That's what the whole democratic shit is. When they want to keep you dependent on the government, you know what I'm saying? And then you sitting around over here thinking like, well, Trump in office, and if he start cutting those programs, how we going to eat? Nigga, you was 8 years? That's years past. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck for 8 years? I don't understand that. 8 years past. And you sitting around doing what? That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? So what happened is conditioning. And then you just get conditioned to believe this check is always going to come. Even if you have a job, this job is always going to be here. You see what I'm saying? Even if your life is good in the beginning of Barack Obama's presidency. Let's say as soon as Barack became president, every black person's life became excellent. If you don't take that 8 years of excellence and save and stack and build and do something solid that's going to generate you bread to protect you from white people when they come back into power, what is the point? If once they come back in power, they could take it all away from you. And then you're going to start complaining again. Build something strong. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it is in this situation. I'm in slavery, but guess what? As long as I'm getting smiles from the white people, clothes, food, I have days off, I can act, you know what I'm saying? It's not that oppressive. I'll work. I'll pick. I don't see what's wrong. Look, now that we're free and we got to do it for ourselves, it's like, man, we ain't never had debt before. Now we got debt. Because you can hear black people saying that. Debt. Now we got debt now. Now we got to pay mortgage. We got to rent shit. We should have stayed slaves. We should have stayed slaves.
That's sad, but that's real, though. That's real talk.
But you can hear people saying that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can't use that logic now, generations later. But no, to get people dependent on you, off you, and then turn around and say, oh, look how they say they still wish they were slaves. You're retarded. That's just like a junkie getting off drugs. And they're like, yeah, man, sometimes I still wish I was out there in them streets. Look, he still wish he was out there. No. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm still early out of my addiction. These are so let's get into so you got anything else you got to say about that? Or you may go into the next one?
No, you can ride out. Ride out.
Nah, you said you muted yourself because you was laughing.
Yeah, man, I didn't want to laugh because I knew as soon as you heard me, you was gonna start laughing. So I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. I was on that like.
You're gonna have to mute yourself now.
Yeah, mute action.
Look, if you thought that was crazy, you're gonna have to mute yourself now. Hold on, let me get her story. I want to get her full story. Yeah, but when I read you this shit, you're gonna be like, get the out of here. Okay. So this black woman, Temp Herndon Durham, right? I think that's her name. Let me see something. Wait, let me make sure that's the name first. All right, let me make sure that's the name first. Yeah, man, it's like, it's really, yeah, that's her name is Temp Herndon Durham. And she was a enslaved African in Durham, North Carolina. That's why her name is Durham. Ain't that some shit? So, it goes like this. I was 31 years old when the surrender comes. That makes me sure enough old. Near about 103 years done passed over this here white head of mine. I've been here spec as the oldest nigga in Durham. I've been here so long that I done forgot about as much as these here new generations knows or ever gone know. My white folks lived in Chatham County. They was Moss, Master George, and Miss Betsy Hernan. Miss Betsy was a snipe before she married Master George. They had a big plantation and raised cows, wheat, cotton, and tobacco. I don't know how many field niggas Master George had, but he had a mess of them, and he had horses too, and cows, hogs, and sheep. He raised sheep and sold the wool, and they used the wool at the big house too. There was a big weaving room where the blanket was wove, and they wove them, the cloth for the winter, clothes too. Linda Hurton and Miller Edwards was the head weavers. They looked after the weaving of the fancy blankets. Miss Betsy brings colored thread. Some days she sat at the loom all the morning pedaling with her feet as her white hands fitting over the bobbin. The carton and spinning room was full of niggas. I can hear them spinning, wheels now turning round and saying, hum, 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 hum. Hear the slaves singing while they spinning. Mammy Rachel stayed in the dining room. There was nothing she didn't know about dying. She knew every kind of root, bark, leaf, berry that made red, blue, green, or whatever color she wanted. They had a big shelter where they dyed pots set over the coals. Mammy Rachel would fill the pots with water, then she put in the root, baked bark and stuff, and boiled the juice out. Then she strained it and put it in the salt and vinegar to set the color. After the wool and cotton done been carded and spun to thread, Mammy take the hanks and drape them in the pot and boil and dye. She stir them round and lift them up and down with a stick, and when she hanged them up on the line in the sun, they were every color of the rainbow. When they drip dry, they were set to the weaving room where they were woven blankets and things, until blankets and stuff. Okay, so that's that one thing. Okay, boom, the weather. All right, yeah, okay, I got to read this part. So it goes, when I growed up, I married Exeter Durham. He belonged to Master Snipes Durham, who had the plantation cross the county line in Orange County. We had a big wedding. We were married on the front porch of the big house. Master George killed a shot, and Miss Betsy had Georgina, the cook, to bake a big wedding cake, all iced up, white as snow, and wide, a bride and groom standing. Oh, and with a bride and groom. Excuse me, could they have it written the same way how she's speaking? Cake all iced up, white as snow, with a bride and groom standing in the middle holding hands. The table was set out in the yard under the trees, and you ain't never see the likes of eats. All the niggas come to the fest, and Master George had for everybody. that was some wedding. I had on a white dress, white shoes, and long white shoes and long wild gloves that come to my elbow. And Miss Betsy done made me a wedding veil out of the white net window curtain. So out of the white net window curtain, she made her a wedding veil. When she played the wedding march on the piano, me and Extra marched down the walk and up on the porch to the altar. Miss Betsy done fixed. To the altar that Miss Betsy done fixed. That's the prettiest altar I've ever seen. Back against the rose vine that was full of red roses, Miss Betsy done put tables filled with flowers and white candles. She spread down a bed sheet, a show-enough linen sheet for us to stand on, and there was a white pillow to kneel down on. Extra done made me a wedding ring. He made it out of a big red button with his pocket knife. He done cut it so round and polished it so smooth that it looked like a red satin ribbon tied around my finger. That so was a pretty ring. I wore it about 50 years. Then it got so thin that I lost it one day in the wash tub when I was washing clothes. Uncle Edmund Kirby married us. He was the nigger pastor that preached at the plantation church. After Uncle Edmund said the last words over me and Extra, Master George got to have his little fun. Master George got to have his little fun. He said, "Come on, Extra. You and Tempe got to jump over the broomstick backwards. You got to do that to see which one's going to be the boss of your household." Everybody comes standing around to watch. Master George holds the broom about a foot high off the floor. Then the one that jumped over it backwards and never touched the handle going to boss the house. And if both of them jump over without touching it, they won't gonna be no bossing. They just gonna be gentle. They're just gonna be gentle. I jumped first, and you ought to see me. I sailed right over that broomstick, same as a cricket. But when Extra jumped, he done had a big drum, and his feet were so big and clumsy that they got all tangled up in that broom, and he fell headlong. Master George, he laughed and told Extra he gonna be boss till he's scared to speak less than I told him to speak. After the wedding, he went down to the cabin. Miss Betsy done all dressed up, but Extra could not stay long then that night because he belonged to Master Snipes Durham, and he had to go back home. He left that next day for his plantation, but he come back every Saturday night and stayed till Sunday night. We had 11 children. Nine was before surrender, and 2 after we were set free. So I had 2 children that was born in bondage. That wasn't born in bondage. I was worth a heap to Master George because I had so many children. They were more children a slave had. They more children a slave had. They more they was worth. Oh, Lucy Carter was the only nigger, on the plantation that had more children than I had. She had 12, but her children were sickly and mine were muley, strong, and healthy. They never were sick. When the war came, Master George was too old to go, but young Master Bill went. He went and took my brother Sim with him. Master Bill took Sim along to look after his horse and everything. They did neither one got shot, but Miss Betsy was scared near about death all the time. Scared they was going to be brung home shot all to pieces like some of the soldiers was. Them Yankees were so bad, they wanted was some... Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm going to stop right here. So, Smoke.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like what stands out to me, like in the portion where she was talking about, like, you know, like getting married and like pretty much looking up to, you know, Master George and all those dudes, all of them. Like they was making something magical happen for her with the wedding, but it was like shit in there. Like they gave her a curtain, a bed sheet, a pillow. You know what I'm saying? Her ring was like a button that he done carved out with his knife. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she was getting like little shit they probably gonna throw away or something. You know what I'm saying? To make it something.
Yeah.
Like, but the way she's talking is like it's magical. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's coming because she had the biggest wedding. She had all white on and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the way the narrative is going is just like the best thing that can happen for her. You know what I'm saying? It's like that image of you know, the master just being the provider. Pretty much this whole dialogue up to this point has been like the you know, the slave loving it because of what the master provided. Not so much the fact that they in bondage, but more so the fact that the perks that they can get in being in bondage. It's like, oh, hold up, I can get married, I can get this and that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like overlooking the fact that you're a damn slave, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's how I feel when it comes to the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get caught up in all of these handout stuff, but it's like we're not okay, so you remember when I used to always say the difference between the Democrats and the liberals and the conservatives to me is the conservatives sitting there fishing, and then the black family comes and like, excuse me, sir, can I get some fish to feed my family? The conservative is like, fuck you, nigga, I'm not fishing for you and your nigga ass family or whatever. So he leaves, and then the black man, like, you know, he goes fish. He's trying to fish himself, and then it's the white people up the hill, and they come down. They're like, "Oh my God, I heard what that white man, that racist said, called you out the N-word, and why don't you put them sticks down? And we have fish upstairs in our big house, and why don't you come up here with us? We have a party." And then we go up to the house. Now we're eating fish, and we're partying, and we're drinking. And then the white man says to the black dude, "Hey, you looking for a job? I need somebody to drive me around and be my chauffeur." You're like, "Oh, no problem. I'll work and do that." And then the woman, she's like, "Hey, guess what, honey? I got a job babysitting and cleaning their house." And I realize that now you're working for them. Now you're their maids and your butlers. And you're thinking that they're doing you a good job because the white man that was fishing himself, calling you nigga and all kind of stuff, he's bad. No, you see who he is. Now string up a stick, get a stick, put a string on the end, bait on there, and go fishing, and feed your family, black man. You see what I'm saying? Don't sit over there now and talking about, I'm scared that Donald Trump won. We need more jobs in our community. No, we need to start creating stuff. The second thing is this, Smoke, jumping over the stick to see who's going to boss who in the house, right? What you thought about that? You jump in the broom. Smoke.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sitting there talking and shit. I'm on mute and shit. But like like, it was a couple parts of that was crazy. Like, I mean, one is like, you know, the dynamic of the household basically is going to be determined by Master George or whoever had the damn broom, you know what I'm saying? In which we know how that game, any game could be played when it ain't in your control, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was crazy. And then it's like you see those celebrations in weddings to this day, you know, where people jump over the broom. That expression is still used and shit. So it's like, what is that really symbolizing when it comes to black people? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on with that? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, secondly, it was like, she was saying how, you know, because she enjoyed her wedding. You know, she's enjoying her status, you know what I'm saying, as a slave for the master. She got a big wedding. She's happy with that. She got 11 children. She's happy with that. But her husband goes and comes to his plantation based on his master. So he's not always there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you think of the dynamic of, like, families we have nowadays, black families, where, you know, the father ain't there. It's like a family created and then the father's not there for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was like, I'm hearing that shit and it's like troubling. Like, God damn. Crazy, man.
Yeah, but see, but that to me also, like, when I said on the show before also that it makes me laugh when I hear black men say, the man his role is to run the house. Like, what is the saying, Smoke? The man's role, is it his role to run the house, or the man is supposed to run the house? Like, what is
the head of the household? The head of the household. Man is the head of the household.
Yeah, that weird shit. It just makes me laugh when I hear men say that, because it's like, all you're saying basically is you done got your ass kicked in the competition of the real world, that now you're coming back now to gain masculinity trying to control a house. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to control the house. You're supposed to be controlling business. You're supposed to be controlling the economics. You're supposed to be out there competing against the Trumps in the, you know what I'm saying, the Mexican, Hispanic economy, the white economy, this economy, that economy. You're supposed to be establishing business. That's what you're supposed to be establishing. You're not supposed to be establishing, I'm the king of my house.
Right.
All of that comes from slavery. All of that comes back to, again, the only man in this country is the white man. So once the black man stays, the only man in this country is the black. Now think about this, Smoke. Once the black man accepts the fact that the white man is the only man in this country, that's what will make him feel comfortable saying, "Well, then I'll be the man of my house."
Right.
I accept white man's title, yo. But I'm gonna be the man of my house, because I'm gonna be the man of my house. I can't win outside the house.
And
I'm gonna be the man of my house.
You see how it relates, how the dynamic is. Like, we more, you know, more of that is our worries than more so out here creating that mechanic business. You know, you know how to work on cars, but you more so worried about controlling your woman and what goes on in that arena. So it's like it's basically like resetting the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people probably say that shit and they don't even think of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's really not your concern. You know what I'm saying? But the families being so broken, men not being men, the feminization of black men, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, we don't even think about shit like that. It's like we so out of order that you got men claiming their strength as controlling their household, but the reality of it is we need to be controlling parts of the economy, you know what I'm saying, and bringing in money, you know what I'm saying, instead of the household.
Yeah, because it's no different than gangster ass niggas with all the guns and shit shooting up their whole communities and shit, strays hitting babies and old people and things of this nature, and then when the police come, everybody dropping their guns. It's like, huh? Wait a minute, why you ain't dropping your gun when y'all was in the neighborhood, when y'all seen the babies and the old people? Why you ain't telling me drop my guns now? You know what I'm saying? Yo, there go that nigga right there. Let me go kill him. Oh, shit, y'all hold back. That's a kid outside. You know what I'm saying? But y'all have full y'all guns and shit, and then police come, y'all like, oh, shit, throw out the guns. Huh?
Broad daylight, get right. Fuck your life.
This is crazy. All this shit is fucking crazy. It's backwards. We're not going to go out there and compete against these different economies. We're not going to sit there as black men and say, you know what? Yo, I'm going to make it. I know, like, you know how niggas be. Yo, we walking 400 deep, my nigga. We like 100 deep walking down in these streets. Well, guess what? You got that many people that you can call upon in your community, then you say to yourself as men, you know what? We starting to shut down. We draining all. Ain't none of y'all foreigners get eaten in this community no more. We shutting down this shit because we know we live in a poverty-stricken community anyway. So we know your shit. We're gonna starve your shit out and get that building for cheap, and then we gonna go and get the food and shit like that. Even if we got a squad that steals food in other neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? We stealing food and then we gonna sell the stolen food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think about it, Joe. If you from the bottom, sometimes you gotta think about different ways to try to come up. But if your ways of coming up is a communal thing, and the community is behind this of all of us trying to come up type shit, trust me, y'all gonna be too strong for anybody to infiltrate what you're trying to do. The way for the infiltration to come is always through individuality. When everybody thinking about self, when everybody thinking about, I got to get mine. No. We have to, like Rick Ross saying, and I salute that song, Buy Back the Block. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop all these other people from eating. Just like, and we know how to do it because we'll do it to ourselves, to our own people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
that's the main point. That's the main point. Just to go off track a little bit. You see that with the situation with like 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather and the fight with Soulja Boy and Chris Brown. So now you see Whack 100 coming in. Yeah, that's his name, Whack 100 coming in, and you know he pretty much putting it on the, you know, this is West Coast, this is Pyru business, blah 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 blah, and he's just basically coming in guerrilla in it. Like, yeah, nobody, this is our shit, you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, you always heard about Floyd Mayweather and 50 having that. They was the first ones talking about it. You didn't hear him. You know what I'm saying? So now he's just coming in like, I got to let everybody know that this is ours or whatever. Whether you say it's right or wrong or, you know, he a boss for doing, like, whatever your opinion is on it, you know, I feel you, but that just, you know, it proves into the point of what you're saying. It's like, we'll go take over our own, like, these are all brothers we talking about, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we'll just go guerrilla each other, but we ain't doing it to nobody else or for no other causes.
Nobody else. And you know when it came to my realization for that? It was that Zotown shit, right? I'm looking at Gangland, yeah. I'm looking at Gangland and shit. And I'm looking at the Zotown shit. And I'm looking at them, they fucking getting irons and pressing it on niggas' faces and got them tied up. And I'm looking at them like, yo, these niggas is savages, yo. I'm like, oh my God. One dude, they got the fucking AK. And they put like 100 bullets in one nigga. You know what I'm saying? There was like so much bullets when gunshots went off in this damn community that it took the police like 2 hours and 2 buckets or something like that just to pick up all the shells. I said, oh my God, these niggas is the illest. And then something happened when now the feds is coming. The feds walked in that same neighborhood and arrested nigga. And they said on Gangland, and not one bullet was bust. Nobody shot one shot. FBI walked. FBI said, we're going to save gas. And we're going to walk in a neighborhood. We're going to save gas, my nigga, and walk through a neighborhood who just the other day have a reputation of putting 100 shells in a nigga. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't have no gun. And they lit this dude up with so much fucking gunshot. It took 2 buckets, filled buckets, at the end of the shit. 2 buckets full of shells for one nigga. But when the feds walked through there, not one gunshot go off. That's madness. That's madness. Y'all killers like that? Every time somebody from Zopound supposed to go to jail, they supposed to come in there with tanks. Like, these are savages here. These are warriors.
Right.
They I can't, you know what I'm
saying? We can talk all day. And the thing is, like, you can talk all day on examples, man, all throughout the hood of how that occurs, you know what I'm saying, which makes it sad and shit. We guerrilla when it comes to us, you know what I'm saying? We going all out. We got the guns out. We got whatever measure we got to take, we going to do it. But we don't look at that. And the thing is like at the end of the day, it's like we ain't competing. So it's like, you know, being on the damn basketball court and you shying away from getting the basketball. It's like, ooh, every time it's time for you to get a pass, you go somewhere where it makes no sense to pass you the ball. You don't want to be in a game. You want to sit on the bench. So it's like it's really just us shying away from the competition, but you see us engage in competition in all other ways, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, you know, ourselves.
So you got to understand that it is what black people have to understand when it comes to white people. White people live in reality. Black people, we live in fantasy. Black people, we want to believe in God and spirits and all this other fucking bullshit. Like we're not understanding that we're in a physical goddamn reality. See, because this is what I feel like when people that talk about the spiritual shit all the time. Oh, brother, this ain't a physical war, this is a spiritual war. Oh, you know, I'm going to call upon my ancestors and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I feel like when people say all of that shit, I feel like, again, just like the man running the house, you done got your ass kicked so bad on the physical that you said, you know what, I'm going to leave this physical shit alone. I'm going to go straight to the spiritual. And I'm going to say, this white man, he could kick my ass on the physical. But on a spiritual level, he can't fuck with me. I'm on the third dimension. I'm on a new planet and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man. This is physical, man. And it's hard. These are people. These are people. These are not goblins. These are not lizards. These are not reptiles. They are not, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers sit down to shit, stand up to piss. You know what I'm saying? They cry. They hungry. They're people. You see what I'm saying? They're not something special. And we got to get past that. I can't give you the guy's name. I'm going to have to give that another day because it's on another file of mine. But I got to get the information. But the American Heritage Foundation, y'all better listen to them boys when they talk. The American Heritage Foundation. That's the white boy think tank. Yo, they basically saying they know that their identity and ideology is almost extinct. This is coming from one of the top right-wing crackers. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's from England. When I give you the name, see what I'm saying? But it's on another laptop. But when I give you the name, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm gonna tell you how to check it out. But he talking and he's straight up saying like, yo, in England, he pretty much saying England is falling. You know what I'm saying? In America, you laugh. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, because basically he was like, the Muslims about to wipe us out. We're not going to have, and remember, that was the whole conspiracy behind the Princess Diana shit dying. That she was fucking a Muslim dude. And
okay, got you.
You see what I'm saying? If you would have had that baby, right, that's how that shit was.
Got to go.
You know what I'm saying? So the white boy now, he already talking, and he's saying basically like, yo, England is already done. We're done. We fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a wrap for us. Y'all have to learn from our mistakes. You got to remember, England is America's mommy and daddy. Remember, America was the colony of these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? So what happened is they're dying. And so the dude's saying it. He's an English white boy. He's like, y'all got to learn from us. He said, we let too many of the goddamn Muslims in, and their whole religion and ideology totally changed our shit to the point that he even said maybe we need to basically, the way I took it, is reconstruct their Christianity to the point of basically carving out a piece of Christianity that isolates everybody else. That's a little bit more aggressive, like, you know what I'm saying, type shit like that. They're losing their fucking power. So they were saying when it came to America was they have to do that border bullshit they're doing right now with the, you know what I'm saying, that Trump talking about. But they have to try to implement Christianity and that belief through the media and things of that nature of that white shining shit again, because this diversity is fucking up that whole white illusion. All of this shit is fucking up the white illusion, because the white illusion is that they're the majority, that they have power, that they're powerful. But the reality is they're the minority, they're the weakest, and they're the latest to come. You see, they're the bottom and black is the top of the totem pole. But they have you convinced that it's topsy-turvy, and they're the top of the totem pole, and we're the bottom. But as much as they go around the world and look around, all they see is dark faces. That's all they see is dark faces. When black people go all around the world, you know what they see? Black faces. That's what they see. And then unless you automatically go into white places. But if you travel around the world, you're going to see black faces. This is what white people know. So that's what, and when they speak now, everything they're speaking about is togetherness. All of them is talking about, because it's the Anglo-Saxon shit. And they're trying to keep that Anglo-Saxon shit. That's their beef with Russia. Russia, they don't consider white people. They're Asian. Because the Russians, you have to understand that they was conquered by the fucking Mongols. You know that too, right, Smoke?
A little bit.
You know that?
I heard that before. I said I heard that before, but I never really studied it.
Okay, watch this. I haven't studied it either. I could be. Let me put that disclosure out. I haven't studied it either. I could be wrong, but I know these crackers. Yo. Because you remember, I had the definition of what's whiteness in America, right? And they said that the Swedish, they didn't consider white at one point. Blonde hair, blue eyed Swedish did not consider white because of the 1800s or whatever like that, the 18th century or whatever like that. They was conquered by Asians and mixed, and that's why they want to consider them. But there's a law that they have to consider Swedish people white, treat them as white, that they cannot treat them that they're not white. When you look at the Russians and understand the Mongols conquered that whole area. So them Russians is mixed. That's the issue with them crackers. They don't accept them as white. That's why. And just to prove that, it goes back to the Anglo-Saxon document from 1787. It says, this document shows how the sons of Confederate veterans worked to deny civil rights not only to African Americans, but non-Anglo-Saxon European immigrants and Asian Americans. That is how these crackers operate. They have their own hierarchy within themselves. You see what I'm saying? And them Russians are mixed. That's why the fucking Anglo crackers don't fuck with the Russians. That is the truth. In my opinion, that's what I think. Now, if anybody can tell me something else, then that's cool. We can build on that.
And I'm thinking back because we had we talked about black communities in Russia. We spoke on that on one of our earlier shows. Spoke on a lot of the black communities out there. I gotta go find that show and shit. Remember, but I could have sworn we spoke on that before, but not on that specific subject, but just black communities in Russia. So, no doubt.
Yeah, we talked about that. But you gotta understand, when the white people they like that DNA. They putting us onto the DNA and all that bullshit. Black people, we gotta stop that. If you the original people, you don't gotta check your DNA. They have to check their DNA and figure out who they are, where they come from. That's a little weird game we doing. I'm gonna check my DNA so I can see where I come. No, white people, check your DNA. Where the hell you came from? That's the $1 million question. The $1 million question ain't where we came from. We know where we came from. Where y'all came from? Y'all the one that's not compatible to the earth. So where you come from? But they put things out there. We just line up. Everybody line up. You know what I'm saying? I got young boys hearing all them cartoons and stuff, but it's like, come on, man. That shit is just crazy. We get caught up into the shit because it's like we fall into their reality. You have to remember, when it comes to white people, their reality is built in media. Their whole shit is media, and that's why they got us programmed like that. We judge each other based on what we see on TV. That's how they do. You know what I'm saying? But just to get back, just to go back to the main thing, back to the subject. Do black people love slavery and regret it ending? Real spit. I got another part of this story right here. Let me not. This is from the American Slave, a composite autobiography. This is from a guy, Lisa Hatcher. And let me see, can I blow this up? Yeah, I don't know if I can blow this up. Yeah, but it goes, you know what? Maybe I can't blow it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can blow it up. Yeah, I can blow it up. All right, good. So it says, modestly clad, but neat and clean, Frank L. Adams, most familiarly known as Uncle Bud, is an intelligently and interesting character, considering his chance in life. His mind, clear and bright at times, wanders with fatigue, and he is often found aimlessly pottering about in the country far from his home east of Jasper. Recently, he disappeared for 3 days while looking for his cow down near Mayhew Pond and was confined to his bed for sheer exhaustion. Uncle Bud, who is 84 years old, was one of the able Adams slaves. He is a man of medium height with kinky white hair drooping mustache, and a firm mouth. Okay, now we're going to get into Uncle Bud. Asking if he felt well enough to talk, he replied emphatically, yes, I sure feel fine. You lost your way last week, didn't you, Uncle? No, ma'am, I was just strolling around. I know right where I was. Could go over foot, over ground again, he answered with gusto. Why did... Shit, come on. Come on. Damn laptop. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right, so 3 days, firm mouth, pause. I was going half a mile south Jasper, July 1853. Old man Abel Adams, grandfather, Mr. Abel Adams in Jasper. He was our master. He kept from 50 to 75 slaves. He kept from 50 to 75 slaves and was a good man. Oh, sometimes he whipped his slaves himself, but he wouldn't low. All right, hold on. I got to go to the next page. He wouldn't low. He wouldn't low. Oh, he wouldn't allow nobody else to beat on him. I was just 10 years old during Dewa and Walking Thin. I was just 10 years old during and working thin, calling sick like jobs. I've been married twice and have 7 or 8 children, but they're only one of my wife's children living, and 3 of my second wife's. I'm a missionary Baptist, joined the church when I was a boy, and has also tried to follow in the steps of my father who preached 60 or 70 years. I've preached 50 years, but I ain't got no regular church now, just preaching by invitation or appointment. Don't remember seeing no big body or nobody troops, no northern troops, but it's warring nothing to see a soldier in war days. They was all-time scouting round soldiers, would come in and take cotton meat or anything us having. We have to watch all the time that they didn't steal the colored children and take them up north for slaves. I know they freed us, but thorn cause they thought so much of us, just didn't want the Southerners to get ahead of the North. Why, if they let us alone, the North would have been buying from us instead of us buying from the North, because the South was most rich before they was. In slavery days, I hold in the cotton field, didn't earn no money before freedom come. Us used to have plenty to eat, such as cornbread, sweet taters, possum baked with taters, and I like everything we had to eat. In summer, the little girls with long dresses and the little boys long calico suits. I have shoes to wear in winter. I had a little one-sided wedding. I had to steal the girl. I sneaked down near the house that night, and she get out of a window and meet me. I took her down the road, and father married us, and we lived at he house. Okay, at he house. Father wouldn't know no trouble at his place. If he heard somebody crying, you see him coming to Westgate. Our master had a big log house and 100 acres in his plantation. It was 2 miles south, West Jasper. We all go up by ourselves in the morning. If we did, they blow the horn to call us. We worked all day and went fishing on the holidays. They make us all go to church on Sunday. They hitch the mules to the big wagon and all pile in. The colored folks sat in the back of the church. They sung the good old hymns such as "I'm a bone and died to lay this body down. When I can read my title clear, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me," and such like. We sung the babies to sleep with "Rockabye Baby on the Tree Child, when the wind break, the cradle will rock, when they bow break, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby and cradle, baby and all, go to sleep, little baby." Some masters wasn't good to the slaves like ours. One time when I was over in Tyler County, a colored woman run away from her master. While they tie a rope to her, put it over the hoen, maybe it's over her, and saddle and drag her home. Tied her to the bed, then next morning they out off boof her breast, then rammed the hot iron down her throat and killed her. That was the worst treatment I ever known a master to give a slave. But sometimes our near neighbors was mean to the slaves. You could hear the whipping a popping. Father was sold in Georgery and brung out here. We had our task laid out Saturday morning, and if we finished by noon, we could go fishing. When any of us get sick, our masters, her Mrs. went. But I'm going to stop right here. All right, Smoke, what you got to say? So before you say something, Smoke, I want to say this. Black people, also this. Don't get it twisted and let them make you think that the way I'm reading this, with how they're writing, the way the enslaved Africans are speaking, that we was the only ones speaking like that. That's exactly how the white people spoke, and that's exactly how they spelled and wrote when the white people spoke. What happened was, as they started to revive their history, they would clean up the way they spoke to make it sound clearer for modern day time. And we obviously don't do that for ourselves. We wait for white people to do things for us. And that's why our story still is broken up like that. And the reason why I say that is because I read some old documents white people wrote, and their stuff is just as chippy-choppy as the enslaved African. And that's when I realized, after different revisions, that's when they clean up their writing. Go ahead, Smoke. What you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, just the overall vibe of the whole thing is just like it's just like a polished view of of slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's like the more it goes into it, you know, from the way I'm seeing it, it's just the way they polish the shit. Like, it's interesting that you say how you made the disclaimer of you know, revising things and going back and changing the you know, the terms and how they wrote things from previously to make it more polished. So, like, for me, it's just like that's kind of like the thought process in that whole, you know, in this whole document, is that it kind of polishes up what the view should be of, you know, the slave master. I mean, the slave to his slave master. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing is pretty much that for me.
I disagree. I really believe that is how slavery was. Because you have to understand, what's the easiest way for me to enslave you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not by whipping you. It's mentally. So if I'm sitting here now and I'm just giving you, and I'm like with the wedding, and she's like, oh, and Miss such and such, and she's playing the piano, and they put down the bed sheet, and they got the drapes from the curtain to make my bed, and she's saying it like it's grandiose and sick. But if you really picture it in your head, that's a homeless person's wedding. You know what I'm saying? If you really,
but it's like playing into the point you made is I could definitely see that. You know what I'm saying? And whereas like mentally we cherish like the stupidest shit. You know what I'm saying? The smallest shit, the shit that don't matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you think of it like that, it's kind of like a throwback on how the thought process started. You know what I'm saying? It's like basically like this is the roots of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is the roots of it. Because again, if I'm sitting over here and you like, yo man, look at white supremacy, yo, look how this white man he broke down our goddamn economy system, man. He got a black man in prison, he got a black woman in prison, he got a black children in prison, look how they gunning us down in the streets, brother. What you gotta say about this? Man, I'm getting money, man. I'm just fucking bitches, man. I'm getting high, I'm drinking my syrup, nigga.
You can't disagree with that.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm telling you what's going on with black people, and the first thing you do is what? Break it down individually. Because in the same thing I just read, he also talked about an account with a black woman who ran and what happened to her. And he said that one time I went over to the Tyler County and a colored woman ran away from her master. Well, they tied a rope to her, put it over I don't know what the HO'N'ERD, I don't know how this broke up talk, but like they put it over her on the saddle. They dragged her back to the house, back to the plantation. They tied her to the bed for a whole day. Then the next morning, they cut off both of her breasts. Then they rammed a hot iron down her throat and killed her. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't think that's edited. I think it really was like that, where you had some plantations was liberal, and you had some plantations that was brutal. And that's how I can control you, because I can say, all right now, all right, Smoke, now if you don't go out here and do this now, you know, you can always go down to
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I guess it's more.
Wait, let me say one point though.
No, go ahead, finish.
Wait, let me say one point. That's prison also. You see what I'm saying? Now you can either confess and tell me which one of y'all niggas out there had this gun. Well, I ain't ratting on my niggas, yo, you know what I'm saying? True to this game, nigga. And it's like, all right, now you can either tell me who gun it is, or y'all can go spend the night on Rikers. All right, yo, it's my nigga so-and-so. Y'all ain't gonna tell him I said it, right? I ain't trying to go to Rikers. And it's like, I'm not trying to go to this bad plantation. As soon as I go there, they like, all right, this your new boy, and the white dude just walk up to you and just snuff you. You know what I'm saying? You like, yo, this is what I gotta do. You're not trying to go there, so you're gonna sit there now and you're gonna tell. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? These guys are sitting over here like whistling Dixie. They doing everything. They singing for the white man. They sniffing his ass because the alternative is the other plantation. You see that with a black man getting fucked in his ass. You know what I'm saying? With a black woman's a fucking breeder, and she just lay down there and just breed babies all fucking day. You see what I'm saying? And you got the kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the alternative. So it's like if you weighing the options, you saying to yourself like, yo, I could be in the slums, I could be in the projects. At least I could be in the 4th ward and the 3rd ward. You know what I'm saying? I could be in the killer field. So it's like it's the same situation that we in. Yeah, that's shit crazy. It's crazy. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not a situation where like Hollywood do have shit fucked up, because Hollywood have us feel like with history when it comes to the civil rights and shit, all black people was dealing with what was going on in the South. And that's not what was going on. All black people wasn't dealing with that. That was going on in the South. And when you from up north and you was going down south, everybody knew. All right, y'all know how they be it down south. You know what I'm saying? And you had to rock with that. You see what I'm saying? But when I asked brothers, the old heads, you know what I'm saying, and I asked them, and I said, Joe, what was y'all sentiment during that time? Like, fuck PBS, fuck CNN, fuck the books and everybody else's account. Let me ask some more brothers that I know personally, and I advise everybody to do this in your personal life. Ask your old heads. Yo, during this time in history, what was, you know what I'm saying, if you remember. So I asked them, and they was like, yo, the way it was back in the day, if you was black and you went into the white, like this is St. Louis, this is another one was Tennessee, another one was Buffalo, New York, another one was and then the only one that cried was from Mississippi. He was like, man, that shit was tough. You know what I'm saying? But that was Mississippi. So
right, different.
But everybody else more so. Another one, Oakland. Everybody else was pretty much was like, if you black and you was in the white side of town, then you know you had a fight. You know what I'm saying? They'll either kick your ass and chase you out, and if we caught them on our side of town, we'll kick their ass and chase them out.
Yeah,
that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I feel like okay, and that's bravado. Okay, and that's masculinity. That's competition. You see what I'm saying? Not saying that you want that same circumstances, but what I'm saying is you want that same mind frame of standing up for yourself and competing. You want that. I don't want something now what we have right now where now men stand up and want to hug and grind on each other. No, this is some weirdo shit we going on right now. We're supposed to be competing against each other. We're getting demasculated, especially as black men, to the point that we don't even know who we are anymore. You see, no, excuse me. Let me not say men, because see, men is the title. But these black males out here, they out here now, they fashionistas, and they shoeistas, and they have all their shoes, and they have all their clothes, and they $1,000 belts, and all their Gucci, and their Pradas, and all kind of stuff like that. And y'all nothing but well-dressed slaves, living on a nice plantation where y'all comfortable and y'all feeling good. And if y'all could get paid and to kiss a guy, y'all kiss a guy. And if y'all could get paid to sell out your community, y'all sell out your community. And if you can coon on TV, y'all coon on TV. And if you can selling drugs and using drugs to make music, you'll do it, even though you don't do that in your personal life, just so your life will be comfortable, while everybody else is on the bad plantation, because now we are living that shoot-em-up, bang-bang community now that you're creating, and that drug infesting that you can be creating. And now all the majority of our black women is out there shaking their ass and shit and fucking strip clubs and all kind of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And the black man now, he want to be a criminal kind of shit. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? So you're giving us the hell plantation while you live in that good plantation? Fuck out of here, man. And that's what's going on. So shit, do we love the slavery and wish that shit was over? Because niggas ain't trying to get out of slavery. It's like we recreating our own shit now. You know what I'm saying? That shit's fucked up.
That's too real.
That shit crazy.
That's too real. And I mean, it really speaks on the mental side of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, like you pointed out, the easiest way to get you would be through the mind. So you understand, it's like, when, you know, going back to earlier, we were speaking about Barack. Barack was, he was the solution, you know, to a lot of people. So it's like we saw that as an image of what we was attaining, but we're not really getting that. And I kind of lost track of what I was gonna say and shit, man. But that shit is crazy, man. The lock is on the mind and shit, and you can see so many examples of how, you know, what you read off kind of transcends over to, you know, what's going on with us right now and shit.
Yeah, we gotta understand that shit, man, because see, we keep on listening to movie propaganda. See, the thing about white people is, and I keep saying this, white people are not clever people. White people are not smart people. White people are not strong people. White people are not none of these things. Only thing white people are is mischievous. They're tricksters. They're swindlers. That's all they are. Now, if you think tricksters and swindlers are brilliant people, then we have different opinions. But if you think the 3 Call Motley guy is a brilliant person, you see what I'm saying? You know you can't beat the 3 Call Motley guy. When the 3 Call Motley guy is sitting out there and you looking and he's out there and he's doing his thing and you got some money in your pocket, if he tempts you over there to lose your money, you understand that that's a game. You see what I'm saying? That's what white people did. They just playing a game, and we fell for their game. We fell for their game. And once we fell for their game, we got in debt to them. It's like being in jail, right? Now, people just smoke. You in jail now. You know, you're in prison. Excuse me. You're in prison. And then the dude coming out, he put that fucking Snicker bar on your bed. and then you fucking, now you got the goddamn, you eat the Snicker bar and shit, you know what I'm saying? You caught up in that nigga
motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Like the night, what is it? The night after? The night before?
The night of.
Shit with,
the night of, I think. I want to say.
That's a perfect example. How old boy, he got caught up in the web. So he got caught up in the fucking web. You dig what I'm saying? So as he's caught up in the web, guess what? He can't get out of that shit. He got out because of the trial. But if that trial wasn't, he's caught up in that web. You see what I'm saying? That's how the white man have us, the same way. Just like Negan in The Walking Dead. Negan have all of these different nations caught up in his web. That's why they can't get out unless they stand up and fight. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is when you get caught up inside the web. That's where the power comes from. It's not that they're powerful. It's that you're caught into the game. That's what makes him powerful, because you're caught into the game. But if you stop listening to, I don't want to say stop listening to listen to whatever you want to listen to, but also add into whatever you're listening, you have to listen to what white people are saying. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't just listen to black people opinion on white people, or black people opinion on what white people are saying, or black people break down on white people. No. Listen to white people break down on white people. Listen to the white person saying it himself. Don't listen to the skinhead and the Alex Jones and the racist, nothing like that. No, you have to listen to the American Freedom, what is it, the American Heritage Foundation. You have to listen to the Koch brothers and all of that shit. You got to listen to them in their forum when they speak and they talk about their agenda on how they want to change America in the redirection that they want to do for the next 20 years. That's what they do. They come up with 20-year plans, and they get into the politicians' ears and do these things. That way you can hear their concerns so you can assess in your black mind how that play in. Oh, y'all feeling like diversity? Yeah, okay, so y'all losing power. So that the question is, what are we doing? Because after 8 years of Barack Obama, what did we do? What did we do in the sense of these white people feel like, oh shit, you know what? We're gonna have to hit reset because we're fucked up. We gotta build this real quick. Where we can come in and say, oh shit, well let's capitalize while they down. We're not in that position. We're in the position just like when I read in the American Slave Composition where the enslaved Africans saying, oh, and they just know that if they don't want the South to catch up to the North, and if they would have just left us alone, we would have been, and that's how the enslaved African is talking. You see what I'm saying about the war and about the North and the South. If they don't care about us. They was going to steal our children and make them slaves up north. All you hear is white people coming out their mouth. That's all you hear. It's children repeating what their parents are saying. Right or wrong, Smoke? I just thought about that. Smoke.
I definitely agree with that.
Yo, that's children. That's children. That's basically children if you really think about it. That's children repeating what their parents say. They just gonna come down here and take my children and make them slaves up north. If they're already taking your children and making them slaves, what does it matter if the union take your children and make them slaves? All these crackers are making you slaves. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? You're repeating what your parents told you. Yeah, like, come on. And they just mad because the South, they didn't want the South to get as good as the North. And they knew if they would have left the South alone, then they would have been just as better than the North. What is this gossip? This is some ghetto gossip. This is some ghetto mother who got their kids around and while she on the phone to her girl talking about her niggas. And then the kids going outside, you know what I'm saying, talking that business out in the street like they grown. That's how these enslaved Africans sound. Because they were brought down to a childlike mind and a childlike existence. You see what I'm saying? That's how the whole thing was. We heard the brother say inside the composition also, we was drugged down to church every Sunday. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have no life. Their life was controlled by white people. We keep listening to our elders. We have to stop listening to our elders. We have to create our new reality because our elders are fucked up. They was brought down to childhood. They was brought down so they have a love and affection for white people. The number one question that we always ask ourselves, what is the love affection that black people have for they're our fucking parents. That's the whole concept. They're our parents. We have this love affection because we look at white people as our goddamn parents. We cannot follow the elders anymore. We have to create a new fucking narrative.
You saw that. You saw that in the
you know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
You know, there was several references of them treating them like, you know, like children and shit, and taking care of them and clothing them. You know, the one dude was on there like, you know, they clothed me and they gave me shoes and, you know, shit like that. Like, it was our parents. And, you know, like I was saying before, you know, when you sonning somebody from the hood, you know, that ain't good. And that's basically what it is. Just like we they children in our existence as civilized beings and happy beings and beings who have anything is all because of our white master and our existence in slavery. We have to thank that for everything that we have today.
And we say that, not we, but you understand what I'm saying. You hear it.
Exactly.
Black people say that now.
Oh, man, that's crazy, yo.
And
that's the crazy part. It ain't the fact that they saying it. It's the fact that we saying it. Yeah. That's the crazy part.
That we say that now. You see what I'm saying? So that's the part that we're not getting. When we're sitting over here trying to figure out and say, oh, well, how can slavery still affect us? I ain't no slave. You got a slave saying I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave. Who a slave? You know what I'm saying? And you don't even get it because you didn't even dig in to even learn about it. You're getting the fucking Hollywood movie Denzel and Will Smith as Kunta Kinte and Idris Elba as that character. You know what I'm saying? And everybody having their screenplay and everybody playing their role, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, like that's what's going on. And then we're watching it and we're like, oh, I like this slave movie. Oh, I like this version of it. That's right. Black people, we used to fly. I heard about black people. We used to be able to walk on water. We could call on the gods of the earth to bring down the thunder, to light fire to the white man. Yeah, I love the story. You and our popcorn and shit. And it's like, nigga, no, listen to the actual tells. Because once you listen and you read, what happened is if you use your black mind, you can listen to, you can read, like basically read between the lines. You can hear what's really going on. When you hear the story of what happened to that black woman with her breast being removed and the hot iron being shoved down, you can hear from the actual person eyes who witnessed it, the brutality. And then you can also hear from the mouth the rockabye into sleep, where you was put into another type of slavery where you was given so much things to sustain you in life that your slavery, shall I say, was easy. It was easier for you to submit and bow down and submit to yourself, to the system. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have to deal with the other side, which was cruel. It was like a good cop, bad cop situation going on. If you did bad in these situations, it's like society. If you did bad in these situations, then you were sent to these plantations where they brutalized you viciously. So that's what kept you submissive in these other plantations. You see what I'm saying? You can read into that, especially when you're listening, when you can read the actual words coming from these people's mouths, and you can hear it. Even if you hear them sounding like they enjoyed it, you know what freedom in the sense of what you have now compared to then is. So you can read that then and say to yourself, wow, this is how they have our people. They have us jumping over brooms backwards where the white man can now lift the broom up, which is what I believe, to trip the black man, have him fall on his back during his wedding day where they laugh and where he tells him, now you're going to be the one getting bossed around and being scared to talk. And I'm just like, wow. You see what I'm saying? And this same attitude, the same theme is still going on and being perpetrated now to the point that we even encourage it as a cultural thing. So do black people love slavery? And did we regret that it ended? Would we rather be taken care of and coddled and being treated as children? Or do we really want to stand up as black men and black women and take over our destiny and be the greater us? Right.
That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a definite salute to the, you know what I'm saying, finding that research and going over it. You know what I'm saying? And detailing that. But it's like, you can't keep holding on to these thought processes, you know what I'm saying? Shit that is decades to hundreds of years old and shit like that. We gotta recreate our story, you know what I'm saying? We gotta change the narratives. And so, you know, the research that you brought today for the people, you know what I'm saying, it definitely shows that we still in the mind frames that's killing us, you know what I'm saying? We still slaves. You know what I'm saying? And until we change that, we're going to be catching them L's. Like they say, Meek Mill be catching L's. You know what I'm saying? We catching L's right now. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
That's what we got to change and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the thing that really trips me the fuck out about it is because let me tell you, and what I mean about the fairy tale and the white people living in reality is because, see, I grew up in this pro-black thing, and I remember being a kid and being infused with nothing but pro-blackness. So I remember watching the movies and the Daughters of the Dust and reading these different books and all kind of stuff, and I'm like, yo, straight up, yo, we could fly, yo, don't you know back in the day we could do these amazing things, we could walk on water, and we had the power to do this and all kind of stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, and the Indians, they can do this chant and make the rain come down and all kind of stuff, and I'm just like, and I used to believe all of this stuff, right, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. And this is what I try to explain to people. It don't matter whether it's true or not. It don't matter whether God is true or not. It don't matter whether none of this stuff is true or not. Rain dances, angels, ancestors, none of this is true or not. The only thing that matters is that you understand that this is a human being that you're up against. This is not a spirit. This is not no voodoo. This is not magic. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. It's because everybody get caught up believing into their shit, and they get caught up into this shit, and they be like, I'm not going to fight this white man until another 100 years because I'm going to crack the seal of what? This is a human being. Not some that deserves some special anointing to stop. You see what I'm saying? This Chinese man, I watched the Chinese man go from being a humble Chinese person in the community to being an asshole in the community to now getting bred and being part of white society and bidding on to be part of white society because white society is set up. Let me read it again. The sons of Confederate veterans worked to deny rights not only to African Americans but non-Anglo-Saxon European immigrants and Asian Americans. So the Asians will always have issues with the Anglo-Saxons. You see what I'm saying? This is their document. This is their creed. This is their manifesto. There's no negotiating around people that doctrine is built around destroying you. You see what I'm saying? And the way they destroy you is not by physical. That's what we don't understand. We think the race war is going to be actual white people fighting actual black people. No, the race war is to destroy economies. You can work for me. I don't give a fuck. You cannot have an economy. If you want to see if racism is real or not, have a black economy. Because watch this, Smoke. We children in the United States. The only man in the United States is the white man, and the only woman in the United States is the white woman. We are children in this economy. And to prove that we're children in this economy, that's why we don't have no goddamn economy. I mean, in this country, because that's what I'm going to say, country. But that's why we don't have no damn economy. You see what I'm saying? Because we're children. And if you're inside the house, Smoke, and your son now is selling whatever out the window or something like, you be like, my man, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, I'm out here selling ices and candies and shit out my window to the kid. You like, what would you say?
Yo, you ain't clear it. Like, what's going on? You just started doing that. Like, come on.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Where my cut at?
Now what? Now, you know, you're the white economy. I'm gonna break it down just as how it is. You're the white economy. You see what I'm saying? Now, your son is how old?
8.
8.
Yep.
So watch, we're gonna do transition. I'm gonna see if this experiment works. So now you're the white economy. Now your son is the child economy now. So he's selling candy and stuff. So now you said you're gonna figure it out. So that's like taxing now, right?
Yeah. Taxation.
Right. So now you're gonna tax what he brings in, right? So now you taxing his economy, right? So now as he's selling his candies and things of this nature, let's say it escalates now into now he's 15 and he's selling guns and drugs. What would you do now if you see that's what's going on in his economy, where he's selling out his window?
Yeah, shut down the guns, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you got to look at it like,
what would you do?
If he's selling actual guns, no, you can't do that. You can't sell guns out the window.
So what you gonna do? You're gonna shut what? You're gonna shut down his economy, right?
Yeah, we shutting it down.
Now watch. Now you're gonna pass laws where guns now is illegal. Right along, right?
We got
we're
legislation
gonna break
on
it down. That's what's gonna happen. So now you can't sell this over here no more. And now we're going to shut down your economy. So now if your son sits there now and he's like, damn, yo, I know I got to get some money now, but I can't do it this way. So guess what? I have to figure out another way to build my economy. We keep saying, fuck that. I'm still going to sell these guns and drugs in my economy. And then you're going to keep going inside his room, busting them, right? And guess what?
Yeah.
You're going to put a camera. And look, you might even put a camera in his room, right? Think about it. Now you got surveillance in your community, right? What?
Oh, you dumb. Well, it's real, though. That's real.
We're tripping. So, you know, we have to figure it out, man. Do we love slavery? Do we really regret it that it ended? Because if you don't love slavery, then you got to stand up and say it's time for us to build an economy, yo, and be an adult. If you really love being a slave, then you're gonna scream, Donald Trump is not my president. We not talking to him. I'm gonna fight what he's saying. Give us more jobs. Give us more government spending. We want more assistance. You know what I'm saying? Give us, gimme. That's all you're going to say. And that's going to keep you a slave, straight up. You got to fight. You got to compete. You got to stand up. The end. We have no economy. And we keep getting busted and going to jail. Jail is what? Slavery. Black people, do you love slavery? So, you got to say more.
Hey, man, they don't get no realer than that. They don't get no realer than that, man. Just pay attention, man. Rewind it back. Listen to it again, man. It's all right there. A lot of answers.
Well, other than that, man, so we're going to see y'all tomorrow. Go to that Facebook, the YouTube. Definitely go to the YouTube and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them views up. Let's get them subscriptions up. Blog Talk Radio. Catch us on Fridays and Saturdays. Twitter, In Black America 7, Facebook, In Black.America. The YouTube is In Black America Radio. And we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.